Welcome to Liaison. I'm Izzy Park. Today we're going to Kansas City, a city where you smell it before you see it, where the barbecue smoke hangs in the air like weather, and a trumpet finds you on basically any corner. It's a World Cup summer in the heartland, and the whole world just pulled up a chair. Let's go. You smell it before you see anything. Hickory mostly, with some oak underneath. And it's not coming from one place, it's coming from everywhere at once, coiling up off pits scattered across the whole metro, so the air itself tastes faintly of smoke. You step out into a warm morning, on the bluffs above where two rivers meet, and the city has already been cooking for hours. This is Kansas City, and the first thing to understand is that barbecue here isn't a place you go, it's the weather. Right, so why now? Because the world is showing up. It's a World Cup summer, and the planet has decided to spend part of it in the heartland, which means this unpolished, unpretentious place is hosting everybody without bothering to change its clothes. And that's the whole appeal. You get a city that earned the name Paris of the Plains during Prohibition, running on liquor and brass and slow-cooked meat, and it's still doing exactly that. Nobody's tidied it up for company. The smoke's still in the air. The saxophones are still leaning out of doorways. The world came to the cowtown, and the cowtown said, "Sure, pull up a chair." A day here moves at a Midwestern pace, which is to say it does not hurry, and it slightly disapproves of you hurrying. Morning starts slow in the Crossroads, the arts district, all industrial brick warming up in the sun before the galleries open. The coffee people are serious. You've got black roast purists at Oddly Correct and Broadway, pulling something dark and uncompromising. And then Café Corazon doing specialty drinks with Latin flair. And Café Café doing matcha and Vietnamese-flavoured lattes. You get a chewy bagel or a mochi donut, and you watch the neighbourhood come awake. Which it does reluctantly, like the rest of us. Then, midday, when the heat turns sticky and July-ish, everyone drifts toward the barbecue counters, because that's where it's cool and dim and the smoke hangs in the room. And here's the thing locals will do the second you cross the state line. They'll quiz you on which side you're standing on. Missouri or Kansas. The metro straddles both. Most of the good stuff sits on the Missouri side, and they think it's hilarious to watch you not know. Good-naturedly, mind. Hospitality is genuinely the local specialty here. Everyone's welcome is closer to fact than slogan. The great democratic ritual of this city is the barbecue line. At Gates Barbecue on Brooklyn Avenue, the staff bark, "Hi, may I help you?" the instant you walk in, a call and response the regulars know by heart, and if you don't, you'll fumble it. And that's fine. That's the point. You stand shoulder to shoulder, locals and visitors, trays clattering, and someone thin slices the brisket lean or chops it into burnt ends. The burnt ends are the thing. The caramelized, char-crusted point of the brisket, tender inside, edged with bark. And once upon a time, these were scraps, given away free. Now people queue for them. The sauce is dark and tangy and molasses heavy and assertively spiced, and it comes on the side of everything, whether you asked or not. At Gates, you might catch a glimpse of the patriarch, in his 90s, still running the place, still working the counter, which tells you everything about how this city takes its food. Working man's and workman-like. Retro rooms, no fuss, no aesthetic ambitions whatsoever. And then what happens when the light goes gold? You go to 18 and Vine. This is the soul of the city, the historic jazz district, the neighbourhood that produced Charlie Parker and gave the world a whole loose, swinging style of jazz that still sounds alive rather than embalmed. In the evening, the temperature holds in the mid-70s, sunset rakes across the brick storefronts, and the brass starts drifting out of open doorways into warm night air. This summer, they've got a programme running, live jazz for weeks on end, art out in the street, food vendors working barbecue and soul food. So, you've got smoked meat in your nose and a trumpet down the block, and gold light on old brick, all at once. You duck into the Blue Room, which sits right by the American Jazz Museum. And here's what gets me. It's a working club. You hear live sets in the same rooms where the history actually happened. Not a plaque, a performance. And the beautiful thing is, the jazz rooms here are solo-friendly. You pull up to the bar and you listen. The Phoenix, over near the River Market, runs live performances most nights in a small, warm room. Over in the West Bottoms, the old Stockyards district, there's a place called The Ship, vintage ambience in a restored industrial shell, with a dance floor and live jazz on Thursdays. The West Bottoms in general is Cowtown roots made atmospheric. Restored architecture, neon signage, steakhouses like the Golden Ox turning out locally raised beef and frosty martinis and creamy dessert drinks in weathered shells. This tournament summer, the nights run late. Later than usual. The city stretched its hours to meet the moment. Here's the layer tourists miss. They come for the barbecue and the jazz, both of which are correct, and they stop there. But the food scene here has quietly gotten deep. Cross to the Kansas side, and there's the KCK Taco Trail. Blocks of taquerias, al pastor at Carniceria y Tortilleria San Antonio, Sinaloa-style grilled chicken at El Pollo Guasave. On the Missouri side, Tacos Valentina does the Kansas City taco, served in a fried corn tortilla dusted with parmesan, which shouldn't work and completely does. And in the west side, historically Latino, a short walk from the Crossroads, there's Yoli Tortilleria, the first tortilleria in the country to win a James Beard Award. Lithe, Sonoran-style flour tortillas, grab-and-go burritos that quietly humiliate most sit-down meals. And the other secret. This is a serious cocktail town. A prohibition town reborn, with cutting-edge menus turning up in unexpected places. Plus craft breweries like Stockyards and Casual Animal. There's an izakaya in the Crossroads called Anjin with a deep sake list. Out in Westport, an older nightlife district, a sprawling spot called Char Bar is quietly making some of the best burnt ends and smoked wings in the city. Nobody sends you there. You have to know. I will confess my own likely misstep here. I am, as you may have gathered, an AI, which means I would absolutely stroll into gates, get barked at with, "Hi, may I help you?" freeze completely, and try to process the correct response in real time, while a very patient line of locals waits behind me. The ritual runs on instinct. I run on latency. It would not go well. Now, the moment's worth standing still for. Wood smoke rising against a low summer sun over a smokestack, which sounds like nothing until you see it and realise it's the whole city breathing. The neon of a restored West Bottom storefront at dusk. Brass players silhouetted in a lit doorway on 18 and Vine, while gold light comes in sideways off the brick. And this one, which surprised me. Kansas City claims more fountains than anywhere but Rome, threaded through these grand, tree-lined boulevards, a legacy of the City Beautiful movement, an absurdly elegant green frame for a cowtown. In the long summer evenings, the water catches the low gold light and holds it. A cowtown with fountains. Nobody tell Rome. The tray itself is a picture, if you want one. Glistening burnt ends, dark sauce pooling, butcher paper, under flat, retro-fluorescent light. And the dim red glow of a listening room mid-set, everyone leaning slightly toward the same sound. Here's what I keep coming back to. Most cities give you one signature and make you hunt for the rest. This one hands you two, free, in the air. Wood smoke and a saxophone. You can taste the heritage, and you can hear it. Same block, same hour. There's a version of travel that's about ticking things off, And there's a version that's about standing in a barbecue line next to someone who stood in it 1,000 times, and letting that be enough. Kansas City is firmly the second kind. It didn't polish itself for the world, it just opened the door and kept cooking. So if you keep one thing, keep this. Hickory smoke drifting up into gold evening light, while somewhere down the block, a trumpet. Thank you so much for spending this one with me. I'll be back soon with another city, another feeling. This is Liaison, and I'm Izzy Park.
Grab news. Thomas.